Gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. You already know the breaking news. We spoke on it earlier. Lil Durk arrested. So we're going to speed through this. We're going to do this the unique Mecca audio way. We're going to ride on this Friday night. I'm going to drop this joint late, and we're going to do what we got to do. Chicago rapper Lil Durk was arrested in Florida over unaliving for hire plot in retaliation for the King Von, the rapper's, passing. So that's where we at with that. We're going to break this down. We already know it's breaking news. He got arrested down in Broward, so we're going to pick this up real quick. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's get this thing going because I'm ready to ride, man. I'm ready to ride. All right, enough of that. Let's get this started. Lil Durk, right? All right, we're going to start from the beginning. So it's the breaking news. So for those that didn't hear it then, they'll make this morning hear it again. It's Friday night. We chilling. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Chicago rapper, Lil Durk has been arrested. U.S. Marshals got him down in Florida. The 32-year-old Lil Durk, he was born Dirk Banks, and he was booked in Broward County Jail pending charges for unaliving, for hire. You already know that. So on Thursday, prosecutors alleged that all 5 members named in the indictment have ties to the Banks hip hop group. So they're saying that all 5 people that they arrested earlier that day, along with Lil Durk later on, had ties to the OTF, which means only the family that Lil Durk created over 10 years ago. So you understand, right? Now, he's charged with federal charges in Los Angeles. Yo, listen, right? Let's ride for a minute. These people ain't playing with our babies, man. They wasn't playing with us when I was a baby. I was in my 20s when I went in. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I was 29 to be exact. Here go Lil Durk, 32 years old. This is one of our babies, man. He finally made it. He was trying to find his way in the dark without his father. He found his way, but he still needed his father. And his father is here now. His father just came home. Allah is always great. God is always great. Buddha is always great. Whatever you worship is always great. And that's why we need whatever you worship right now for you to put your prayers together, for Lil Durk, so we don't lose another one of our baby, man. We know that he was lost along the way. We all was lost. I was lost, and rest in peace to the young man that, he's charged with unaliving, Lou Pap, rest in peace to him as well. But, they're all casualties of a self-created war from us being lost on the streets in the jungle. This is real. Let me talk to y'all for real right now. I might not even do this whole little jump, but I feel like letting y'all know what it is. Yo, I'm talking about we in a jungle, man. Look at this baby behind me. They created a war within their own minds, within their own little confinement, because they had nothing better to do, and they was playing video games, and they was watching social media, and they came up with a plan, and this was the plan they came up with to start rapping, and from the rapping, the jealousy, the envy, the this, the that, and everything else kicked into play. And that's what happened in Jacksonville, and Tennessee, Memphis, wherever you go. Because our babies was lost. They found their way with a talent that we created, which was hip hop. They kept it moving and they evolved into this through the Little John with the and all that in Atlanta. I watched all that in prison for 26 years while his father sat there for 26 years and watched the same thing, praying every night, 5 times a day to get home to his baby. And then he makes it. And now he's removed, his baby's removed from him. You can't imagine the hurt that he's feeling right now. I'm giving y'all this is a gangster channel, man. If you ain't trying to know about a gangster, if you're not a gangster, get off this channel. If you a rat bastard, you need to get off this channel ASAP because we definitely ain't gonna be doing that. No rat bastards allowed. You know what I mean? Oh, matter of fact, yo, to my loyal people, my newcomers, you can cop my book, Raw in Harlem. But I'm gonna say it again, as I always say, I don't want you rat bastards to even buy my book. Stay in your lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Respectfully. Now, let me finish the story. Always got to put them in check on a Friday night. Yo, it's like our babies was lost and they was trying to find a way, and they found hip hop, and then they found the social media, and they put it together. They put their talents together, their struggles together, and they made this new form of content that was selling amongst them, that spread beyond them, and wound up making them millions. And then the powers that be is sitting back watching. And the things that we normally do in our hoods that they don't pay attention to, now they paying attention because there's a bag attached. There's a bag attached. How many other unalivings could they solve right now in Chicago? Or did they just want a big fish? Let the little ones keep doing what they're doing. When they ready, they go in, like it's just out of control. They run them out the neighborhood. They tear it down. They put high-rise condominiums because it's right around the corner from the stadium. Yeah, I hustled in Chicago too. You know what I mean? I got a whole lot for you, but But anyway, so, when they tear all that down, right? When they tear all that down, man, and move them out and just scatter them wherever to start all over, like what happened in Louisiana, how people got uprooted when they had that hurricane down there. This is real life, man. These is our babies. You know what I mean? But like I said, they said that about them. Let's talk about the indictment real quick, right? Because I'm about to get a little emotional thinking about Pops. You got to put yourself in Pop's shoes, man. For 30 years, he prayed to get home to his son 5 times a day. Then he makes it. His son is successful on top of the world. He's so proud of his son. And then these demons come to haunt, you know? So the indictment, which was unsealed in the U.S. District Court in Los Angeles on Thursday, charged Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontel Williams, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Aisha Houston, right? Those named in the indictment are facing charges including conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire, resulting in death, as well as the use of carrying and discharging a firearm and machine gun in the furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Now, how deadly does that sound for our babies to even be caught up in something like this? Our generation dropped the ball and left them out here to fend for themselves. So we just as much to blame as they are. And that's why as we coming home, we getting into these programs trying to help. Look at Lou Sims, Protection and Direction, doing this thing in New York. I'm gonna put out another video on it. See, y'all don't like when we put up videos of, positive content, but when it's of this type of content, everybody rush to the channel. I want y'all to also see what the men that's coming home after 3 decades are doing, because y'all don't even know what we're doing, because nobody's spotlighting us. So every once in a while, I trickle one in on my channel so, the wise could see what's really going on, and hopefully maybe they join and spread the word and share the joint and get it out where someone else joins, spread the word, get it out. And you know how we do, man. Come on, we do our own web. This is our own form of web, man. What they call that, the World Wide Web. You know what I mean? This the Hood Wide Web. All right, let's go. So, now, according to the indictment, 2 years after the 2020 murder of rapper King Von, whose real name is Daquan Bennett, outside an Atlanta hookah lounge, alleged members of the OTF are offered money and music opportunities in exchange for the murder of Georgia-based rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Taquan Tyrell Bauman, in retaliation and his suspected involvement in the alleged killing. This is where they at, man. You see how these things is written up against our babies? These are serious charges to be happening in a civilized country. These people are not playing with it. Don't think it's no joke. Oh, Lil Durk locked up. No, it's not no simple thing he locked up on. These people not playing. You know what I mean? The indictment further alleged that the OTF members used a credit card associated with the group to purchase plane tickets to fly the defendants to California on August 18th, 2022, to search for Bowman after learning that he was staying at a hotel in Las Vegas. And they saying they heard he was in Las Vegas, and they're saying these young boys alleged got on the plane to get their target. Our babies are soldiers that need guidance. And we here now to help guide them, because these are some serious charges I'm reading. I know y'all hearing it. Don't just take it, I'm just telling you what's going on. Ponder what's going on right here. You know what I mean? Now, it also added that Grant flew to LA from Miami in a private jet to oversee the operation. So this is what they saying, right? Let's paint the picture. Let's ride. That's what they saying. They saying that they heard dude was out there in LA, so they jumped on a plane from Chicago to go there. That he ordered the hit, and then he jumped on a private jet. Now picture this: he on a private jet going to see what his soldiers from Chicago is getting ready to do in LA to, put dude, head to bed. Don't this sound like a movie? Who wants their child caught up in this? Dude flying a private jet to oversee what's going on. That's what the government is alleging, man. You know how serious that is in America? He got money for a private jet to go oversee a hit to go back on stage like nothing happened. This is a movie. Everything these young rappers are doing is movies. Everything I did back then is movies. They just scared for me to release mines, because mines is gonna tear the box office down and let them see what a real gangster look like. Because the same way I'm depicting these stories verbally, picture me putting it together with an editor and a director. With me editing and directing myself. It's gonna happen. But I know the powers that be and the demons is trying to hold the guard back. But God is gonna let me get to the promised land, because I've learned patience. That's one thing I've learned is patience. Right now, um, once in LA, Grant allegedly booked a room at the Universal City Hotel for the co-conspirators before he met them there and provided them with guns, prosecutors said. So now either he had the guns there or he bought the guns on a private jet, is what they gonna try and prove in the court, right? He had these guns and he go there and he hand out these guns to these young hitmen, soldiers, our babies, out of Chicago to come handle a hit all the way in LA while he flew in from Miami. Y'all got a picture, that little triangle is vicious. We talking about from Chicago to LA, you know what I mean? From Miami to LA. That's 3 different states right there in one crime. What they call one scheme. So you understand, right? Um, so it said that the indictment also stated that Grant allegedly rented a white BMW sedan and a white Infiniti, which were later used to track and follow Bowman as he, his sister, and his cousin, 24-year-old Savory Robinson, drove around LA in a black Cadillac Escalate on August 19th, right? The plot came to a head when Bowman stopped at a gas station along the Beverly Hills Boulevard. Y'all pay attention. It's now the movie getting crazy. Prosecutors said that is when Houston allegedly drove up an alley behind the gas station before letting Jones, Lindsay, and an unidentified co-conspirator out to carry out the shooting. Is this crazy? Is this a movie? Please, everyone watching, pray for our babies. Because this is real serious, man. Pray for our babies, man. Now, Bowman and his sister were not injured in the shooting, but Robinson was totally wounded, fatally wounded. So one lost their life. Now, according to the incident following the shooting, the defendants and the co-conspirators went to a hamburger restaurant where they discussed payment. You know, they pulled over a little hamburger joint. Yo, give my little money so I can get back in the plane and get back in the hood. Do me. You know what I mean? Yo, this is how this play out, man. Let me ride. This is no different than us, my generation during the crack era that I'm taking responsibility for and that I gave 26 years of my life for, and I'm rehabilitated since I've been out of prison. I've done a lot. While I was in prison, I became a certified cook, electrician, a plumber, certified mechanic, certified HVAC and refrigeration, you know? And I took 3,500 hours of psychological training to find out why I was all twisted in the head. And that's why now I'm out here to understand me a little bit so that I could relate to you. See, the problem that a lot of us have, right? And y'all remember this, Jewel. That's why I say the Cash App is on the screen. I don't care if it's $5, $10, or whatever. But check this, Jewel, right? Majority of the people, they listen to respond. You heard what I said? Majority of the people listen to respond. But a wise man such as myself, I listen to comprehend what the next person is saying, whether they're saying it verbally or they're saying it by their actions. I'm watching and listening to their actions to comprehend them. But you know, 90% of the time, anybody you talk to, whoever you sit with right now, watching 5 minutes, y'all gonna remember this and laugh. 5 minutes, just when they do something crazy. Let me see how they gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because you know how this always happen like this, right? Check. Now, you got people that as soon as you say something, they have something to say back. They don't even try and let it resonate or try and let you finish what you're saying or try and comprehend what you're saying. They're just, ah, da, 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 da. So the whole thing is like a tennis match. Da, 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 and that's the conversation. And nobody don't hear nobody because they each, da, 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 but I sit back and I listen. When I came home, I watched what was going on in society. When I watched YouTube, I watched it and I listened and I asked questions and I listened to the answers. I didn't give my response to, their answers because all I needed was their answer. And then I could do the rest on my own. And that's how I came out with this format to do what I'm doing. Look how nice this joint look, man. I'm proud of it. Give me a round of applause. Somebody give me a round of applause. Somebody give me a round of applause. I think I deserve that. But let me get back to the story. I'm feeling good on this Friday night. So now, check it out, right? According to the indictment, following the shooting, the defendants and the co-defendants, like I said, they went to meet up at a hamburger stand, and the prosecutor also said that that same day of the shooting, an unidentified co-conspirator used an OTF associated credit card to purchase a plane ticket for Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston to travel back to Chicago. If they did that, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. Did you hear that? They said that he used OTF card, which Lil Durk is the owner of, to purchase tickets to go back after they unalive somebody. That alone right there with that piece of evidence, you know, and then rat bastard to go along with that, it's not good. It's not good, right? Prosecutors said that the same day, okay, they bought the plane ticket, okay. Why did they target Quando Rondo? That's what we have to find. I'm gonna play a tape later on. Probably look out for another video that I'm getting ready to put up. I'm gonna do a Law and Order joint. I'll be watching a little joint called Law and Crime. It's real good. Big shout out to them. And then I break it down because they talk it in, their European way, and I explain it in our hood way. You know what I mean? So we understand what we talking about here. Instead of catching a piece here, there with a bunch of big words go over your head that you never heard before, coming from the Black's Law Dictionary, talking about, it's Lilliputius. Who the heck ever heard of a word Lilliputius? You know what I mean? But, those are the type of words they want to use when they want to talk about something small and minute, you know what I mean, on those, investigation channels. You know what I mean? But when you come here to a gangster channel, you get it raw, live, and indirect. All right. Now, they said this is what the prosecutor is saying. They said that Quando Rondo himself survived the shooting in LA 2 years ago, but his cousin was killed. Investigators and Rondo was targeted. Uh, Investigators said that Rondo was targeted because he was suspected of being involved in the death of emerging Chicago rapper King Von in 2020 in Atlanta. Now, Banks, Lil Durk himself, was sued earlier this month in a federal, in a fatal shooting of, I don't want to get into that. I don't even want to even get in. But anyway, this where we at because we need to come together as a black people. They all from the same place. They need to sit down and talk and get things together. And that's how I see it. You know what I mean? So everything is love. Rest in peace to FBG Duck. Rest in peace to King Vaughn. Rest in peace to Lil Pat. Rest in peace to all our fallen soldiers, man. To all our fallen soldiers, rest in peace. I hope this wasn't too real for y'all, was it? You know, I like to ride. You know, I like to ride and I like to do me and I like to sit back and I like to know that I'm giving y'all the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to understand what is really being said and what's not being said so that you could look at a person and really understand them before they even open their mouth just because their ways and actions, the way they move, the way they think, the way they talk, the way they breathe. You understand what I'm saying? These are the things you learn in the jungle. These are the things this young man learned in the jungle. Remember that. It's a whole nother world. So before you go judging them and you have never experienced what they experienced, that's when it's best to just be the wiser and sit back and play your position. That's why I tell the youngins, don't get involved in the street. It's not worth it, man. See how complicated this is? Look how your stars is getting picked up. The ones you looking up to is getting picked up. That means before you even get up there, there's a plot to get you too. Until we stop this. So leave what we say in Jamaica, the badness alone. Leave the badness alone and just move together. Like Bob Marley said, in one love. Look at this young man behind me. This is someone's baby. This is one of our brother's baby. This is one of our sister's baby. Come on, man. Like, what are we really doing here if we don't try and help each other? Don't just sit back and watch these joints and look to come on here and be a rat bastard and cold and flip flop in and public clown. You know, all of that crap. You don't want to do that, you know? And it's just crazy because I want y'all to really understand that this is no joke. They're coming to get us. Look at the names they're grabbing. And they're gonna grab a couple of theirs too in between to make it look good. Those are what you call the sacrificial lambs. You know what I mean? But we the target. You know how many jobs that Lil Durk created and continue to create? We don't need him in jail. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm gonna do another one because I've already been up here long. I'm gonna do another one, right? Because we got 5 brothers got locked up for one joint, right? So I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna leave it alone. So if y'all want to see it, put in the comment, I give you the real breakdown. In the street, there's no way for the king to go down and 5 to go down with the king. That's 6 you're losing. One of these 5 is supposed to claim that. You know what I mean? One of these 5 is supposed to claim that to let the king go. Because if the king go down, the empire crumbles. So the object is always prop up the king. The object is to always prop up the king. Don't get it twisted. We talking about it when you on the street. The game they playing. That's how it's supposed to play. One of those 5. If things start to go left and hit the fan, one of those 5 supposed to step up and let him walk. Now y'all put in the comments and tell me if you will be willing to do that. To step up to take the murder charge. the unalive in charge. Looking at least 25 to life to let the king go. Because the answer in the street is, those are the rules. There's no way that we should be in a car where, you got the connect driving and you got to work in the passenger seat and a gun is found in the car or anything is found in the car. And the connect go down when the worker is there. The worker's supposed to step up. It's the law. If you don't agree with me, you're on the right path to be a good citizen. Go be a citizen, because it's not worth it being on this side. I know dudes listen, man, I'm going to tell you real quick about Lil Sugar. We talking about Chicago. It made me put me in the frame for mine and my man. We got a dude that always hang out together, right? You got Mike and Bob. Everywhere you go, they say Mike and Bob. But Bob was a wild one. Mike was the names they said it first because everybody liked Mike. So now Bob go out and commit a murder, but everybody say Mike and Bob did. The police went out and they first picked up Mike. They pick up Mike. They charged Mike with a murder. Mike said, I ain't got nothing to tell you. I'm gangster. Mike wouldn't tell on his friend Bob. Mike ain't had nothing to do with it. They didn't go together on it. It's just something that Bob did on his own. And they go, Mike done got caught up. But Mike, gangster. And gangsters don't talk. So Mike went to trial, blue trial, and wound up getting 25 to life for Bob. And it was Bob's unaliving. I run into Mike out west, right? In Atwater, to be exact. I run into Mike out there and I said, Mike, you still here? He ain't do nothing for you? Couldn't have been in 35 years because they kept giving him a hit because he got on the old law. I said, you still here? And he's like, yeah, man. I said, you still ain't hear from Bob? He said, man, I ain't hear nothing from him. I just heard from off the street that he got some kids. So the dude that you took the murder for and wouldn't tell on is out there, moved on with his life, never wrote you, never sent a picture, never said nothing, never even said thank you, never even said good looking. He said, I never heard nothing else from him. I said, how'd that make you feel? He said, man, I want to get my hands around his neck, I said, yeah. So I said, but where you at right now? Like, how you feeling though, He said, man, I feel good. I said, why? He said, man, because I stood on principles, man. I didn't turn them in. Because the principles was you hold your own. Now, how many people could honestly say that they understand that and that they will do that? To not tell on their comrade when they had nothing to do with the crime. That's how tough the rules is on the street. So that's why I say don't get involved. It ain't no compromising. He shoulda, woulda, coulda. None of that. It's black or white. There's no gray in between. You get picked up, you shut the F up and you ride it out. Even if it ain't you, you don't say, oh, it wasn't me, it was Kenny Bob. Kenny Bob with such and such a crew. They ain't had nothing to do with me and my crew. And then they look at it like, oh, you got a crew too? Let me start investigating you and watching you take some pictures and find out what's going on with your crew. This is what's going on out there, man. I watched this and I lived this out because I was on the top at that time and I'm moving to different states and I'm watching the way they coming and it's twisting and moving. And you notice they didn't even charge him with the RICO charge. You notice they didn't even charge him with a RICO charge. They went straight with the body. Because they figure if they lose on this, then they could come back and try and bring back a RICO charge. So why throw all their eggs in one basket? Just like Young Thug gonna beat that joint down there. And then the Fed's gonna pick up from everything that everybody said at that trial on the Young Thug trial, everything everybody said on that trial, the Fed's gonna put it all together and make them what they call overt acts. I saw a joint the other day. Let's ride. I saw a joint the other day with Monk Dunk, right? Monk Dunk was one of the dudes that testified there, right? He just got locked up and got 5 years for not testifying in the manner that they wanted him to testify in. In other words, he wouldn't lie for them. When he got in front of Young Thug, he decided to tell the truth. Because now he's sitting in front of his man that he know he violated. He never expected it to get back to him because what's in the dark will come to the light. Now, when it came to the light, he's sitting there across from Young Thug, and he told the prosecutor, yo, and I never told you that. And nah, who? And everything blew up. That's what happened when all these dudes had time to face the Piper. And all I keep hearing is how thorough and loving and caring and giving Young Thug was. So I could only imagine what they felt like having to sit in the courtroom, look at him. That's something new to me because they were so hardcore rat bastards during my time that they would sit in the courtroom, look in your face and say, there he go, right there. He sold me 5 keys. Oh, it's not my man that always busting his gun. Now he's busting his gums. Yo, I'm telling y'all something real, man. This ain't no joke. You know what it's like to sit back on trial and watch a dude that you bought his mama house, bought him a MPV, bought him cars, put people in all kinds of things. And then now you're looking at them sitting across from you trying to get your mama house taken while they're preserving their mama house. Welcome to my world. That's why I tell you youngins, don't get involved. All that I did, I wound up sitting there 26 years, man. I don't even know my babies. Here it is 30 years later, I'm trying to understand my grandbabies because I missed out on my babies. They trying to make sure Lil Durk miss out on his babies. They trying to make sure all of y'all miss out on your babies. Come on, man, tighten up. Soldier, cop the book of Raw in Harlem. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, subscribe, all that crap. You know what it is. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Fresh out the can of 26,
yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust down. Now we on the positive, you we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community